Welcome back to 100% Motorcycle, again with myself, James and Rob, and today we are doing boot talk. And we are going to have a little talk.
Bootstrap build today.
That's it, we're having a little bit of a talk about boots, alright, because yes, there are many different types, many different preferences, many different styles. Do you wear your leathers inside your boot? Do you wear your leathers outside your boot? Oh, it's a minefield of how well you want to make yourself look before you go anywhere on track or on the road, or whether you're going to go down a local cafe mates with your polished Ducati V4R or whatever, just to stand there in your Ducati leathers.
Got to be done.
It has to be done, yeah, that's why we will do it. But we're just going to talk about our boots, really, and I've got two sets. This first set of SIDI boots were my first ever boots I bought.
Really?
Yeah, so they're about
Well, they've lasted you well, haven't they?
from September 10th, 2010 is when I passed my bike test.
Memorable date, there you go.
I passed my bike test, and I bought these a few weeks before.
Oh wow, they've lasted well, haven't they?
They have lasted well, and like I say, we discussed earlier, I've got a bit of a theme going on. I have crashed in these boots.
No,
yeah.
Never.
But over my biking career since 2010, I have only ever crashed twice.
Yeah, we believe you.
Alright.
He says holding up his hand in the car.
That's it. So yeah, I have only crashed twice. Yeah, these, like I say, I've got two SIDI boots. I swear by them myself. I just find them absolutely fantastic. These red and black ones are my latest boots, which I'm gonna have to say.
They
again.
go for a different colour style than you're normally going for, aren't
Yeah. I crashed in these.
they? Consistent theme, definitely a consistent theme.
Which happened. These are the new 2019 Rex SIDI boots. They've only been released, or probably the early part of this year.
Nice.
And yeah, I bought them a week before I went to my track day. Tried them on, and then I crashed. As you, we'll go into it, but there's bits hanging off them left, right and centre, and we'll get right into the reason why I really enjoy owning SIDI boots and why I've decided to go this route.
Just as a quick introduction then, because I do want to dig into those and let Jimbo really go to town on them. I've brought three different sets for you to have a look at today, so two Alpinestars and one TCX. These ones I basically use on the road. What I wanted to do was be able to wear these underneath jeans. I've got a really nice set of motorbike jeans that I use on the road as tactiles, so I wanted them for that, and they're also waterproof as well, which is really helpful.
And he wears these, sorry I'm going to butt in here, he wears these when he goes barn dancing. And he listens to Cotton Eye Joe. Alright, so that's just the real reason why he wears those.
I wore out the cowboy
That's
boots,
it,
so
yeah.
I've got to have them instead.
That's it, let's have a little bit of a dance here. That's what you wear those for, really.
Damn, he found out about it. So these ones are my current track boots. I bought these at the motorbike show literally in November, so these are literally very new on track. I've only done a few track days on them, not crashed in them yet, touching wood. So yeah, these ones I've been really impressed with. Basically very, very comfortable. Found it a lot easier to get my leathers inside, so we'll talk a bit more about that in a while. I wasn't planning on buying those. I actually bought these TCX boots. Funnily enough, I bought these thinking about it. I think these are actually back from 2010 as well. Funnily enough, I've crashed in these.
Well, if you're crashing when you're on track, you're trying.
Yeah,
at least you're trying. If you bimble
trying.
around all day and you're not pushing it, and you still come away with chicken strips in your tyre, then I'll probably give up.
Yeah. But yeah, these ones, I've got to say the TCX ones, love the TCX boots, really enjoyed them. We'll talk a bit more about them later on in the video. Also my colour scheme, love Suzuki, so love them being blue, so that worked quite well. But really interested in finding out about your SIDI boots, because they literally, you can take them apart and put back together again, can't you?
Yes, you can. Right, so let's go through my very first ones. These are the SIDI Vertigos, so let's have a look at those. So give them a little one, and our other camera that we've got here, little spin round. As you can see on the little camera, these are showing their age now. This is the reason why I've upgraded these boots. These boots, let's show the bottom. So the bottom of these ones, definitely could do with a good old resole.
They look wrecked.
They are
really
wrecked.
used them, haven't you?
I have abused them. They've probably done 30, 40 track days.
Wow.
I used to use them quite frequently on my commuting to and from work, Sunday morning, thrashes. So they've actually done me proud, really. So comfortable.
Right.
Once you've broken them in, I wear them with 2 pairs of socks.
Right.
So I've just normal pair of, just work boot socks.
Okay.
And then I put my leathers on. I put my compressions that I wear underneath my leathers, and then I put a pair of ski boot socks on.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I find that works for me.
Yeah.
Just for the comfort side of things. Not saying that these are uncomfortable without those socks on, but for me it just works. I just feel that my foot fills the whole boot then, and then when I'm adjusting the boot then it works fine. So on these ones...
Question for you, sizing on your boot. I'm a size 9 on normal shoes, but in every single one of my motorcycle boots I always go up a size 10, and that actually every single one that I've got has fitted me perfectly by going up a size. Have you had that with your SIDIs, or are they exactly the same?
They are exactly the same. So I am a size 11 foot.
Right.
So for the UK, this is a size 11 boot.
Yeah.
So this was 2010.
Okay.
This is 2019, and this is a size 11 boot.
Fair enough.
So the one really good thing with SIDI boots is that their sizing is very, very good. No matter what type of brand boot through their range, their sizing will be the same. But the only difference for why I struggle with is that I've got reasonably large size foot, but it's quite narrow.
Right.
So this is
double socks.
that's why I wear a double sock. So that's how I overcome that bit. So with the SIDI boot, on the old ones, you have a side zip. But the most important bit is I can't do this with my dodgy hand. Trying to remember how to do it now. This is Marandar, there we go. That's different from the other one. So on these ones, you've got a bit that opens up at the back.
Oh, okay.
So once you put your foot in, you do your zip up. So you do your zip. So we've done the zip up now, and then your preference then whether you wear your leathers on the inside or whether you wear them on the outside.
Yep.
With this little ratchet on the back, you just wind them in to whatever your comfort level is. It kind of, and then you push it back in. Good mechanism on that, especially on the back, just because if you have a whoopsie, and I'm prone to having those apparently, that's what happens is they don't get damaged.
Yeah.
So, which is the downside on the other boot. So we look at the Rex boot now. As you can see, with a big camera, and on this one, I have a little bit of damage. This is from my high side a few weeks ago. They've done exactly what they should have done.
Okay.
I didn't break my ankle.
That's rather important.
So I've come away with quite a severe sprain, and according to my CT scan and my X-ray, I've shaved bone off of my balls and my ankles. The only way that I would say that I shaved bone off my ankle, on the balls of my ankle, is both of these bolt sections for the exoskeleton that goes up the outside of the boot are positioned right on the ball of your boot. So that, for me, is the only real downside of this boot.
Right.
Okay. It's more like a sock now than a boot, because you undo it off the front, so it all comes. I do it off this boot, which still works. You use these little mechanisms, and you push the levers, and you do that. Okay. So once you've got all the levers, this now becomes a bit more like a ski boot.
Okay.
Like an inner sock. This is the actual boot itself. It's actually leather, and then you've got my neoprene bit, as you can see from when I'm pushing it. The whole boot moves. Okay, so basically, as they describe it, it fits like a slipper.
Fair enough.
It does. And then once you want to adjust, once your foot's in, you push the little tabs on each one of the old ratchets, and then you
tighten it
up, make sure you push it in. Again, this then aids So that then aids you to position the boot whether you want your leathers on the inside of your boot or on the outside of your boot.
Makes sense.
So
did you say as well that you can change? I was quite interested how you can change bits of the boots.
Yeah. So let's look at your Alpinestars briefly.
Yeah.
So if you had an accident to where you severely damaged that boot.
Yeah.
So maybe this buckle, okay, because that is actually built into
integral part of the boot.
The boot. That boot will then be
binnable.
Binnable, yeah. As apart from the SIDIs now, this is the main reason why I go for these. Is the fact is, although this is broken, to replace this entire strap, £18.
Fantastic.
So that's what I found online at the moment. If any of you guys out there know where I can get some parts for these boots, please
comments down below, please.
Yes, please, because they are every part of this boot, other than the fabric parts of this, is replaceable. You can buy, for the vent.
Yep.
That's replaceable. The only bit that I want to replace is this skeleton around the outside, because where I've slid across the tarmac, I've worn this quite thin.
Yep.
And for me, I don't want to trust that in another accident, another crash on track.
Well, your boots are there to protect you, so if the worst happens again, you're protected.
So
you want to replace it.
Price really, I got these for a real good steal. I got these from an online site.
Yeah.
And I paid £275.
Okay.
So
that's a really good price. Isn't
it? If you find them online from other retailers, they're about £369.
Oh, you've done really well there.
So, but that depends. They do two different models. This one's the unperforated, but they also do them in a perforated version, which would pay slightly more for, I think.
And what's the difference between the two? Is one more a summer and one more a winter?
Yeah, because this. So let's have a look. So this main section in here will be perforated.
Okay.
Just let more airflow in. Really depends what you use it for. Yeah. If I did lots of European track days, which I wish I could, then I would probably buy a perforated boot.
Yeah.
I've got perforated leathers for that reason.
Okay.
So they're just a fantastic boot. I don't understand why every boot manufacturer make boots like these, because I love the Alpinestars. I like the look of your Alpinestars. I think they're a great boot.
Yeah.
But the only question for me is that they've all kind of gone for this like ski boot buckle.
Yeah.
And for me,
you break it, you're done.
Yeah, and not only that, is the fact is that you tighten this by pushing it in through the clamp.
Yeah.
There's no ratchet as like a ski or a snowboard boot holder would be. That you would then use a ratchet to ratchet it in tighter.
Right, got it.
And if that was a ratchet where I could get my perfect fit every time, then I might have considered those.
Yeah.
But that's the only downside. SIDIs, yes, all right. They look great. They wear great. They feel great. They move great. And if you're crashing them, it's great because you can rebuild them. So I think
so you like them then?
Yeah, like say for the only two sets of boots I've ever owned have been SIDIs.
Yeah.
I can't praise them enough. Well, like I say, all I need now, because these are so new on the market, spare parts aren't available. So if you're out there and you own a set of Rex boots, comment down below whether you crashed them, because I might be the first UK person in SIDI Rex
official
boots.
tester.
Yeah,
it really is.
They've crashed.
Yeah.
So the only, like I say, design flaw on these ones is the fact is that you've got these buckles on the front.
Yeah. But you can replace them, as you said, and if you're only talking less than 20 quid to replace, then you're not a lot.
So I think it's about 20. I think it's 18 quid for the vents, and I think for the buckles, I think it was 38 quid. But 30 quid for those buckles, that means you get two.
Yeah.
So you can do that, and because it's the same as the lower one, they're interchangeable. They're just rotated.
Yeah.
So hopefully for less than 50 quid,
you're back up and running again.
I should be able to get up and running. So the vent I don't need to change because that still works fine. And it's always good. There's always a good down the pub chat that you've got a bit of damage on your boots from crashing. Yeah, it's they're just fantastic boots. They wear really well. They fit really well. With a new design this year, and they've got a bit more toe for pre-braking and for your gear changes.
Yep.
They had a very good wearing in.
Cool.
Let's put it that way. They sit in all parts of the track, including the ground.
So I've had a bit of a different experience. So my first set of boots that I bought, didn't know what I was buying. I actually went for a set of Oxford dry bone boots that aren't lined up here at all, because they had a bit of a scuff, and I'll say a bit of a scuff, and literally they fell apart. So they're in the bin, and I've got to say, my experience of those boots, okay, great for if you're going to do some wet riding, but protection levels were really not great. So I'm starting off with these ones, and basically putting those in front of you. They're the Alpinestars. Obviously they're a lot shorter boot. It's not something that you would really perhaps recommend for going on track. This is obviously what I've been using for road riding.
You'll probably find that in the regulations of track riding
I don't
wouldn't
think
be appropriate, because there's not enough support and there's not enough ankle protection, not enough shin. Yeah,
but the bit that's quite interesting with these, very, very stiff base, which is really good. So if I was to have an accident in these, then at least I've got some protection, so my foot's not going to bend in the wrong directions. You've also got a decent toe protector on it, so if I did start grinding on the road, then again I've got something to protect. More than anything else though, the reason why I was getting these is they're waterproof boots, so I wanted those for when I was riding on the road. But as well as that, I'm also getting a level of ankle protection as well. So it is giving me a bit of protection, clearly not as much as the race boots, but it gives me a level of comfort and a level of wearability when I'm out riding on the road. Yeah. So I then sorry.
So that's what I was sort of butting in as always. With these boots here, like you say, they give you some form of ankle support, but they don't stop that movement.
Yeah.
And there's that movement that is critical, really. So this is where, like you say, you're going to go into your Alpinestars and your TCXs. Like I say, with these SIDI boots, you
can't bend them.
You can't bend them, and to be honest, that alone was the reason. From my high side, I did not break my ankle. I wouldn't like to say these would have done the same.
Oh, they wouldn't have done, would they?
No. So this is 10 years of development from SIDIs. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's quite interesting. So I'm going to do the bend test. Oh, there you go. That one's
so it's not bad at all. See.
So there's the protection on the back there that I think is helping more than anything else. The lower down version, you're all right. Let's have a look on these ones. See, the back is really, really strong, but actually they'll bend around quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that's.
But the new design of the Rex boot was the fact is that you've got full movement this way.
Yep.
You've got very limited movement that way.
Makes sense.
So.
The only bit that I always wonder around, and again, if you look at these TCX ones, I've always found these very good from what they have on the back. Again, just show the other camera here. So what they have on the back and the interconnecting elements that basically controls your movement, so it makes sure that you don't bend in too much of a difference. The only bit that I'm always worried about is these are made of plastic. So how strong are they actually going to be in a crash, and will they actually support you, or would that plastic just break? Oh. That answers your question.
I'd like to say this again, this is just plastic. If you can hear that on the camera, it is just plastic. It's got, 8mm long screws in there, I expect, nothing more than that. As you can see from this camera, how much that screw's worn through, but it's done its job. I think with the development of boots now, they do try to stop the sideways movement as much as they can in the ankles.
That one's actually pretty reasonable on sideways movement.
From my experience, because I've had a low side crash and I've had a high side crash, I would aim for a low side.
Yeah, generally the recommended way to go.
Not a high side. But so my injuries from my ankle, my hand was not from my landing. We'll look at that in the levers in a moment, because you'll see my impact on my levers. But what this is when you start then going from full Superman to hitting the ground, and then you start going duck and roll. This is from where my first impact on the ground, from where my limbs were being flailed around, and that's where I hit the tarmac. So my bone in my hand was broken because of the impact into the ground, and same with my ankle. The fact is that I've come over and I've hit my ankle on the ground. That's why you will see on my left boot, this is where all the damage is.
But it's done its job.
Yeah.
That's what it's there to do.
That's what you pay your money for, and this is why we're talking to you guys out there. Is the fact is you need to make a decision about your footwear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen, like I say, so I'm stopping you from talking about your TCXs.
No. So let's come back on the TCXs. So I've actually had these quite a while. Again, one of the bits that I really wanted to pick up, as James was talking about, was really how you can manage to fix yourself in the boot and what's happening with the leathers. So I found these very good from a point of view of actually getting your foot in, very good from getting your leg in, and great if you want to be able to basically put anything over the top of the boot. But actually, where I really struggled with this boot, and if we look at it on the small camera, is basically once you start actually doing up this boot, you then do up the boot, the actual inside of this boot, really struggle with basically putting your leathers into the boot. You're sealing it with a bit of Velcro basically. And although it was a really great boot, I really enjoyed the boot, I liked it a lot, felt very comfortable in it. At the same time, I also really struggled with my leathers because I like to have the leathers going into the boot and being seamless. I actually decided it was time to move on from these. I mean, they're in pretty good condition. Basically on both of the boots, I started to actually get the indent of basically the peg, because I was doing more and more track riding, I was starting to feel the indent at the base of the peg disappearing in the boot. Clearly not to the same level that James is at. I think he's won the day on that.
These ones are completely worn. Like I say, this is, like I say, September 2010 I've had these, and they've done 35, did I say 35 or 40 track days over those 10 years. So
they've done well. So these ones though I find quite interesting. So I found them an awful lot. Surprised me actually. I've got to be honest. Even though I've got two Alpinestars boots here, I wasn't actually a fan of Alpinestars. I went out going, I'm going to buy another set of TCX. And if I wasn't getting TCX, I was basically trying to think, okay, brand loyal here. Do I go something similar to my leathers? But actually, when I started trying them on, it was clear that these were the ones to go for. The bits that I really did like about these is if we actually open them up a little bit, I'll open them up now and show them to the other camera. What I do like with them is as you get to the inside of them, there's a whole inner sock that you put up, and also you can basically do up the laces that go with it as well. So what I've tended to find is that you can actually get a really tight fit for your foot that's going in, your ankle that's going in. It's really well supported. You can then basically put your leathers in on the top, and then as you start to ratchet this one in, as we were talking about earlier, you can get a comfortable fit for your leathers, and it all kind of fits inside.
See, that for me, I like the style of that boot. I think that's very much like the SIDIs here. They've gone very much like a ski boot.
Yeah.
Because you've got the inner sock, you've got the pull cord in there that pulls the inner sock tight, and very much like a ski boot. But then, for me, like I say with the SIDIs, for me to adjust it, it's a ratchet.
Yeah.
And I find that so much easier than, because depending on the way that you stand, your weather conditions, like I say, whether it's raining, whether it's your right sun, depending on how you're sitting, what type of chair you're sitting in, you put this back in, it might be alright on that boot, but it might be slightly different on that boot.
Yeah.
And for having a ratchet system, I feel that I'm more guaranteed to get the same fitment on both legs, so therefore both of them feel the same, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So these are, I can't say that they're a bad boot. I think they're a brilliant boot in their design and the way that they're going. But this little bit here, this for me needs to be a ratchet. It has to be a ratchet. Yeah. And they're good money. You have to save your pennies up for many weeks to buy some of these bits of kit that we've got. Yeah. We have saved up. Like I say, these boots I've had for nearly 10 years. These ones, it's taken me 10 years wearing these, saving up to buy these. So it's
you're not going to be buying one every week.
No, you're not.
They're important though, and what we've shown through the accident damage is you're still here to talk about it, and you didn't end up breaking your ankle. So it shows that you bought the right things.
Right, yeah.
I actually had a low side in these, and to be fair, it was about a 30 mile an hour low side. It was nothing dramatic, a little bit of scuff damage around them, but very little. And to be fair, they've survived quite well on it. But the main bit was walked away from all of it. All the protection worked. Well, thank you very much.
Again, guys, what we're trying to get across to you guys is that what you need to consider is your budget. At the end of the day, these boots, can be quite expensive because you can get some real nice stylish ones. You can get them with MotoGP riders on, whatever. But would the MotoGP's number on your boot protect you any more than if you didn't have it?
No.
So you need to work out your budget. Like I say, we range from £125, which I think is probably one of the cheaper boots on the table, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And then mine was £275, but these are brand new, newly released, and I just happened to click on the site. They were doing an introductory offer, so I couldn't miss those. So what we're trying to do is make sure.
Well, let's do these. So this one, I think these were about 150 quid, and if I remember, these were around the 200 mark. Again, these are more road focused, so not really the same kind of level as these guys. But again, I think one of the bits that we've also found is there's the NEC motorbike show. That's up in November. They normally do it pretty much every week, same week in November. Fantastic show, but as well as that, there's always some great deals on all of your clothing. And both of these sets of boots from that show with a discount, so it's worthwhile having a look around.
But just make sure that you go try them on. Fitment is key again. And you must decide whether you wear your leathers on the outside
or the inside.
I think most people wear it on the inside, but now if you're going to go for leathers or follow what Valentino Rossi and perhaps the late unfortunate Marco Simicelli, I think he's the one that started the leathers on the outside.
Right.
So I would then go get fitted, wear your leathers or the kit that you wear for your boot fitting. That's most important, because on your leather trousers or your one-piece leathers you have shin protection, and that might interfere with your boot. And just make sure that you can buy the best that you can possibly afford. I
think it's worthwhile saying, when we're saying the best, what we want is the thing that's going to protect you the most. I mean, we've been talking throughout this video around the sideways protection, the sole protection, making sure that if the worst does happen, that you come out and you walk away from it. That's the reason why you wear these. So your money, what you're spending around, needs to make sure that it is giving you the best protection for what you're just about to do. Let's be honest, if these were gold plated and you paid £1,000 for these, or €1,000, wherever you're watching this from, they're still not going to protect you on track. They're still not going to give you the same protection as you're going to get for any of the other sports bike boots, because they're designed to give you that protection. So you really need to make sure you're heading to the right thing, the right fit, the right elements and protection that you get to go with it, that's best for you and your budget.
I think that's key. So what I want you guys to do is comment below. Tell us what boots you wear, why you wear them, and why they're so good. Because everyone thinks their boots that they wear are the best boots in sliced bread. So just let us know, and then perhaps if we can get our hands on that particular boot,
we can do a review of them.
We'll do a review. Make sure that you guys subscribe, like the video, and press that bell.
Hit that like button. And we'll see you again soon.
Take care.